Okay, so here we are in part 2 of the clutch. Next video is going to be working on the fender struts. I still have, I'm going to have to probably cut into the video after that. I need to do a head bearing adjustment on the Springer before I can ride it. I didn't do that when I rebuilt the front end last year, and I got to do it according to the manual. So next week's video is going to be the Springer head bearing adjustment, and then a week after that I'll continue working on the shovel. Okay, so as you can see, these are the two different clutch packs. These are the ones that came with the bike, and these are the twin power, let me show you the box, twin power high performance kit. So it says race proven fictional material, includes fiber and steel plates. I am going to go back to the original ones. If that doesn't work out, then I will put the ones. These are supposed to be Kevlar on here. Now let's do the weight. We'll look at the weight on these. So if we take all the plates from the original one, and it comes in at 6 pounds, 10.5 ounces. I don't know if you can see that. Let me move the camera around here for that. So you see that comes in at 6 pounds, 10.5 ounces. Take the Kevlar ones, the new clutch pack. This comes in at 4.98 ounces. So it's almost a 2 pound difference. And actually it is a 2 pound difference between the twin power clutch packs and the stock ones. Now again, I don't know who makes this. There's no markings on this as to any manufacturer. Now if we look at these plates the way they are, let me put this back up here. You can see that there's quite a bit of difference in these. Now it doesn't look like the actual material on this is different. It looks like the steel plate is thicker on this. So if we look at the plate itself, and it's hard to, I mean, I can measure the thickness of the plate, which comes in at 1.32 millimeters for the original ones, and then for these it's 1.20 millimeters. So there is a difference as far as the plate thickness, the overall thickness of the plate. The twin power is 5.79 millimeter, and on the ones that were on the bike, it says it's 5.54. That can't be right. 5.52 for the original ones, and 5.79 for the twin power. So it looks like these twin power ones are thicker. Maybe the plate is thicker, 5.71, 5.63. So actually these, the new ones, are thicker. I think it has a thicker steel plate because obviously the fiber material is thinner than this, but so this must have a thicker steel plate, although it is lighter. What's the let me take this off again. So one of the original plates is 12.1 ounces. Now that has a steel plate on it, thicker steel plate. This one is 5.1 ounces. So this plate, and you could, I mean, there is a noticeable difference. This plate is almost double the weight of these plates. Now these already have like ridges cut in them, but the big difference between these plates is these don't have the anti-rattle clips on them. So if you look at, let me move these out. So if you look at these plates, these have the anti-rattle clips here. These don't. Now the difference in weight in these plates, the steel plates, that's 12.2 ounces, and these are 11.8 ounces. So these actually weigh less than these. These are thicker plates. Let me see what the weight is, the thickness of them. So these steel plates are, it looks like let me get this right here. Looks like 2.83, 2.9 Looks like 2.92 millimeters for those steel plates. And these are 3.03. So these are definitely thicker steel plates. Doesn't look it, but they are. I think it just makes them look thicker because you have these anti-rattle clips on it. But if you look at the actual plate in here, you can see that this one is actually thicker. So even though these weigh less, I mean, there is a noticeable difference if you pick up all the steel plates. It's not much, but it is noticeable. So when I say all the steel plates were 2.146 pounds for the original one and 3.06 pounds for the twin power ones. So these might actually stand up better, but I am going to go back to these. I mean, if I have to go back to the new twin power ones, it's going to be nothing to pull the priming off and redo that. It's not that big of a job to do that. So I am going to put these back in for now. If I'm still having an issue with the clutch, then we're going to go to the twin power ones. I do like these because they do have like heat grooves cut in here, which will leave some of the paint out. But these things just feel so light compared to these. It's like what I say, there was like a 3-pound difference in these. So the original plates are 3 pounds 12 ounces. Oh, I think shut off. All right, so these were 3.12 ounces, 3 pounds 12 ounces. Oops, get that again. And those were 1 pound 9 ounces. So these are almost double the weight of these. So anyway, let's you can see the difference between the twin power. If you want to get the twin power clutch kit, it's part number 482033, and I don't know that it says what this fits. American V-twin motorcycles. I think this fits all big twins. I don't remember, but I did plug in the 76 shovel. It says just 41 to 84 big twins, 5 friction plates for steel, and you're actually supposed to take the friction plates and soak them in oil for like 15 minutes. So all right, so you got an idea of the different type of clutch plates. We're going to go over, we're going to put the original clutch plates back in, and then we're going to test the bike, and obviously we have some clutch problems. We'll swap over to the new one. So let's go back over the bike and we'll put the clutch plates in. Okay, so let's do the clutch plates. This has already been cleaned out. Everything's been torqued the way it should be. We start with the friction plate and we end with the friction plate. So now we have a steel plate, and it has out on the outside. We put that in. Another friction plate. Another steel plate. Out. We have to stagger. You can't have these like together like this. You have to stagger them. So it's going to be like that. So since we have it over here, we have one here. We are going to put it here. Another friction plate. Oops, did I put that out? Let me make sure. I think I did. No, I did. All right, okay. So we got out. Another one that's out. So we want to go here. Another friction plate. This one seems a little tight. Oh, maybe not. All right, another steel plate. does it say out on this? Out right here. So we want that. Then we have the last friction plate. Okay, we are several days later. I ran into a problem with this 3-finger hub here, 3-stud hub. I ended up cross stripping one of the studs on here. I did not have a 5/16 by 24 die in any of the taps or dies that I had, so I had to order one to rethread this stud. It worked out fine. I ordered it from Amazon. It came in like the next day. I ended up having to go back to the stock style releasing disc. I could not get this aluminum disc to release right. It just would not do it. I couldn't get the springs down to where they needed to be adjusted to 1 1/32 of an inch. So what you do is this, you have to adjust the springs so between here, where's my ruler at? Between the bottom of this pressure plate and the releasing disc is supposed to be 1, of course this isn't right because I got to put it in, but it's supposed to be 1 1/32 of an inch. I could not get the springs down far enough. Actually, they were too high up where I couldn't even almost thread the bolts in. So I scrapped this. I went to a local shop today. They had a brand new pressure plate because releasing disc, because this one is a little warped. This might have been the original one on the bike. So I got that. So let's finish up with this clutch, because if you look, let me turn this camera. If you look up here, the fender mount and the saddlebag mounts are off. And if you watched one of my 1-minute videos, you'll see why. And I'm going to go over that in the next video. But let's get the clutch done. We can tie up the primary side of this bike and move forward. All right, so we got this. These are Barnett springs, and I've already lined them up. Pretty well. Let's get them on. So I have to get the right one because this is kind of offset on here, and I didn't mark it before I took it off. Right, so there we go. So we got those on. So again, one of these studs is what I cross-threaded, and a die just cleaned that right up, so it works fine now. I was getting a little worried that I was going to have to actually pull this whole thing out if I couldn't get that rethreaded, because I'd have to get a new 3-finger hub, and this is a brand new hub. I wasn't paying attention and I just stripped it. So okay, so let's tighten this down, and then I can measure it. So we've got 1 1/32. So you want to measure where the 3 studs are. So down here, we're just about there, right there. Same thing with that one. I can't see that one, but looks like that's okay. I'm seeing the same amount of threads all the way around. So we can take this out. I do want to use the new adjusting screw and thread this on. So this is the original, I think that's the original nut. I want to take this out too, because I want to use the new one. No, I mean this one's going to work just as well, but take this out. Get the put that in. I have to go get the new locking nut. And then we'll test it to make sure that the clutch is releasing. I pretty much already adjusted this cable. I just have to tighten it up. Okay, so you tighten it up to where it's going to hit the rod, the clutch rod, and then you want to back it off like a half turn. Let me just so I got to adjust this cable. And let me adjust this a little bit, because the shifter arm here is supposed to be a 1/2 inch from the starter, according to the manual. So it looks like it's releasing. You notice you don't see this move. You don't see the clutch basket move at all. That's because of that ramjet that's installed. Okay, let me see if you can, let me zero in on this clutch. And watch this, you can see it move. So it looks like maybe, I want to make sure they're releasing even. And it looks like they are. Okay, so we can tighten this down. This is the locking nut. So we'll lock that down. And it's probably going to have to be adjusted again once everything's running. It's a little loose up here, which is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to have a little bit of looseness. I'll have to look in the manual before we finally tighten that up. Let me tighten this down. Not that it's going to move because the bike's not running. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I know this video is a little long, so if you stuck to the end of this video, thanks for watching. I am going to move on to the fender struts for next video. I was going to do the oil tank, but I need to get the fender back on, fender back together, and get the saddlebag mounts back on. And I'm going to show you a couple tools since I have those off on the chain. A couple tools you can buy for the chain. You don't need them, but they help. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.